Hello everyone, my name is Christian, welcome to my hobby blog. Today we are doing a whole new series. It is called the Withering Watchpile. Name might be changed later, I don't know yet. It sounded cool when I thought it up 10 minutes ago when I did the thumbnail. But we finished Atuichi yesterday technically. It was we recorded last week, released yesterday. It is Friday, August 27th, and so we were kind of going back and forth all week, figuring out what we wanted to do, and I was like, hey, how about we just get rid of our watch pile slowly by slowly? Or slowly and surely, or whatever the saying is. And we were like, yeah, that sounds great. So today we have 3 Severin films each. That was our theme, was Severin Films, the label. Distributor, you know who they are at this point. And today we are joined by Leon, otherwise known as Under Nightmare 24. Welcome back.
Thanks for having me, Christian, and it's been a blast. I'm honored to be a guest on your channel here on the discussions, and can't wait to go through the Severin section of our watch pile here on the Withering. Did I say it right? Withering watch pile?
Yep. Once you see it written down, I think you'll
there we go.
Figure it out. It's almost 11 o'clock and we're just now starting. So, but
go back to the studying, I guess.
Yeah, like I was really excited to go through the watch pile. I don't know about you. It was nice to knock out 3 releases.
Yeah, we gotta take down Mount Everest of the watch pile, so pretty excited for it.
Mine's just a shelf, thankfully. It's slowly going though. A lot of it's box sets that I'm like, I don't feel like going through it right now.
Not mine. Mine's on the floor.
Oh, is it?
Those take up the most space.
Oh wow. But who wants to go first, me or you, on what we watched? I'm going in order of what I watched. So the first thing I watched is what I'll talk about first, then second, third.
You could go first, and then I'll go after.
Okay. So I accidentally told you. So in the future, my goal is to not say what I'm watching, so it's like a surprise, because I don't know anything what you're watching. So, but
I kept it a surprise.
Yeah, I'm gonna leave it optional for the future on doing supplements and stuff. I think it's mostly the movie. Like, if we just find something that's really good, and because the concept I'm thinking is like you're trying to pitch it or find a movie that the other person will like and kind of sell them on it. I know like 2 of the movies here you've already seen and probably own. One I haven't told you. I know you've seen it because you recommended it to me, but so the first one I did was Anthropophagus by Joe D'Amato, I believe. 1980.
Awesome movie.
I enjoyed it. It wasn't boring. It was just unique enough to where I was interested. Because the only thing I knew about it was that Will, my film professor from school, who has been on the channel, he got the special edition of it that comes with like a plush of the zombie eating his guts. You can take the guts out of his mouth and like stick it to his stomach. It's like Velcro. It's like really cute and hilarious. That's how I knew of it for years. When I would go to his office, I would see it and I'm like, what the fuck is this? And he would like tell me about the movie, and the only thing I got out of this movie was the kills and the score. It was really bizarre. It was like, it feels like a holdover from the Giallo like 70s era, because it was just, it has that really weird Italian dubbing, which I texted you about. But if you don't know,
Yeah.
for some reason the Italian industry, when they're making a movie, they just let the actors speak in the natural language. And then when it comes to post-production, when they're editing the movie and recording sounds, they just mute everything and they re-record like dialogue, and they only record specific sounds. So think of a Dario Argento movie where some of the actors, they're like really good at English and they can dub it really well, and then some people it's like really awful. But what makes Argento way better than this movie, at least for me, is that all his movies are murder mysteries. This movie is not a murder mystery at all. It's just a zombie going around killing people. And so throughout the entirety of Dario Argento and like Suspiria or Cat o' Nine Tails, Deep Red, Bird with Crystal Plumage, sometimes you only hear the sound of like breathing or someone stabbing someone in the face, but it's like a very specific sound or two, maybe. And this was very much that. It was a giallo slasher film with a zombie as the slasher. It was really interesting.
Yeah, you hit it right on point there about everything. It does have like a jello feel, and like you said, he is like zombie like. It's George Eastman, so I think he does a great job playing that guy. But overall, like you said, it's built on the kills and pretty much the atmosphere, the weird Italian feel to it. And I'm pretty much used to that dubbing because I watch a lot of Italian films. So to me, it doesn't bother me, but I've heard other people where it kind of get to them.
What helps me, what helped me get through that, because I used to hate it. I absolutely despised the dubbing of Italian movies. It was Tenebrae was the specific movie where I finally got it. Because I was like, why are these movies so weird? And then I watched Tenebrae, and like it was really noticeable with like the Italian foreign actors, where they're speaking in Italian. You can see the lips speaking Italian, but the audio is English. And then you see our main protagonist, who's, every Dario Argento movie is American tourist shows up, witnesses a murder. Like, that's every movie of his. It's in Suspiria, Bird, Cat o' Nine Tails, Tenebrae, Deep Red. Like, all his movies are like that. And so you can really notice it in Tenebrae specifically. And that's when I kind of got it. And I started not hating it as much. So I think it is something that you just don't notice until someone points it out.
Yeah, because you're pretty much into like the visual effects, and of course their scores. Italian scores are great, and their camera takes you off everything because Argento's one of the masters in the camera work, man. He does those up close shots, moving stuff like that.
There's a 2 or 3 minute take shot in Tenebrae where they're going throughout the entire house and you hear the awesome theme song playing. And you see the killer like slowly going around. You see like a hand here. Sometimes you see like an eye. And you see the woman like walking around. And in the end of the scene, she lifts the little needle for the vinyl player. And the theme stops playing. It's like one of my favorite touches in one of his movies. It's like something he didn't need to do, but really adds to it.
Yeah, he's a master at that. And color scheme as well. I like his color schemes in films, especially the popular Suspiria. I don't need to talk about that one.
Yeah, I was gonna say I highly recommend the 4K release of Suspiria because I have watched that movie like 20 times on DVD, and each format from VHS to DVD to Blu-ray to 4K, the colors get more exaggerated and more like vibrant. So on the VHS, it's non-existent. Looks whatever. DVD, okay, you see a little bit of colors. Blu-ray looks really good. But 4K is like, oh my gosh. Like the scene when she kills the ghost woman. Mother Suspiriorum, I believe. Suspirium, I don't know. The movie's named after the witch. But when she is in there with the knife and it's like lightning just going on, it's like so vibrant. I want to like take acid and watch that movie. I feel like that would be a movie that you take acid on because there's no story in that movie. It's just Susie Bannon, the main dancer woman, played by Julia Harper, Jessica Harper, and she's just yeah, and she's just like wandering around. It's a haunted house movie basically for like 99% of it, of her just wandering around and scary stuff happens. Like, you don't need to even look at the subtitles. Like, it's more of an experience. And I know I'm not talking about Anthropophagus, but this is very much like the end of that era, it seems like. It's this movie. Because the 80s is a lot more slasher. Less colors. There's a lot more muted colors in this movie.
The 70s was like an oddball type era. You had these real odd horror films. Sometimes they didn't even make sense, but they were like just so entertaining.
There was
Actually, this one's like early 1980. How it's right on the borderline of
right at 80.
79, 80.
1980. So it's like right there. Like, because what's the latest 70s Argento? Is that Tenebrae?
Yeah.
Because that's like 1979. Then 80s was Phenomena, which nobody likes, and like Inferno.
Yeah. Phenomena was great, man. Inferno I like. I think it's a solid sequel.
I haven't seen it. It's like one of the last big Argento movies I haven't seen.
You haven't seen it? You gotta watch it. You gotta watch it. It has some scenes that are pretty creeped out, and then it has that color scheme again. But this time you're like in I guess it's like an apartment building, something like that. But you have some real intense scenes. I don't want to give away spoilers, but there's some scenes that'll be like, whoa, that was pretty crazy.
So I want to talk about the intro to Anthropophagus because I was immediately enamored. Where it's the, girlfriend, boyfriend with the dog, and they're like on the beach, and they're like in the secluded beach area you're not supposed to be at, and there's like a boat that looks stranded, but maybe it's not stranded, we don't know. And the boyfriend like goes to sleep on the rock, and the dog is like sitting there. And then the woman is dragged under by the zombie. We don't know at the time, but later we find out. And she gets like eaten, and I don't know where, but the zombie finds a butcher knife and like stabs it into the boyfriend's face, and it's on the back of the whatever, but it was a really good makeup. I thought this was like a slasher movie, but I knew that the zombie was the killer.
That was a great kill. Definitely enjoyed that one.
Yeah, I really liked the intro. I'm trying to think anything else.
Yeah, he's like cannibalistic, huh?
Yeah, I mean, they don't even say if he's undead or not, or if he's crazy. He's just like a force. It reminds me of It Follows, where we don't really know.
Yeah, didn't he get like burned or something? He's like burned.
Yeah. I think so on the cover we get a woman holding a knife, and there's like a big menacing shadow. That is totally different than what happened in the movie. It's actually a blind woman. It's just like living in this tank of blood, and she like jumps out, and it's scary, and it's like trying to kill actually one of our protagonists. And she's like, I can smell the killer, and it's like really creepy. But so they have to take care of her like the entire movie.
Yeah. Yeah, that's an intense scene, man. Nice gore involved around that one.
I'm trying to think anything else. There's a pregnant woman who this is a pretty awesome scene where she's kind of waiting, and her feet is swelling up because she rolled her ankle. And she is like has her feet in like a bucket of like salt water. Apparently that helps swelling. I don't know. I assume so if the movie told me. But she's like sitting there, and the dude who like is kind of keeping watch over her he's like, I'm getting you more water. And she's like, oh, okay, thanks. And he does that, but the zombie, like, pulls him down, like, from the boat. And she just has no idea. And so he dies. And she's like, oh, I guess I'll get the water myself. Without even asking, like, where he is. And so she's, like, looking around as she's pulling the bucket up. And his head is in the bucket somehow. And she doesn't notice. She doesn't realize if it's, like, water. And that she didn't realize there was, like, a solid, like, heavy object in the bucket. Like, usually you can tell a solid versus a liquid, like in a bucket when you're carrying it. And so she's like, oh no! And then she gets killed.
Yeah, I like the island atmosphere in it. It's real creepy.
That's a good point, because it reminds me of a lot of movies where they go to, like, an island, because the whole reason why they even go to the island is that they meet some woman who accidentally breaks someone's camera, and she's like, oh, take me to my island and I will feed you or something. I don't know. It's very convoluted. It's every Italian movie. Doesn't have to make sense. You're here for the kills. And so they go to the island, and it's like abandoned. No one's there. Some creepy old woman keeps showing up, like walking away into like the shadows. We get nothing with her, except like a thing on a window saying like "get out," which is like Amityville horror-esque. When the ghost says "get out." I'm trying to think what movie it is when that happens a lot, where they go to an island. King Kong, maybe? But that's like not what I'm thinking. It's a very common trope, is my point.
I watched one a while back. I've seen several films like where they're in an island, they pull up and go upon a mysterious house, start getting picked off one by one. It's been done plenty of times.
Yeah, and that's the thing about this release, is that on the back it says, like, this still stands as perhaps the most controversial and extreme, I'm reading off the back here, spaghetti splatter epic of them all. And I was like, okay, it wasn't that gut-wrenching watching it. I could see how they did the effects. Maybe because I just know how to do that through, like, watching, like, supplements and documentaries and stuff. But, like, it was really obvious how they did that. I mean, you obviously get a bladder from, like, a pig. You fill it up with blood, attach it to a hose, and so when it gets cut, you push down on the pump, and it sprays someone in blood. That's how you do that. It's really easy. I haven't done it myself because I'm too lazy to do that. But, like, if I was to ever make a movie, it's going to be super bloody. Because it's really easy to just make your own blood using corn syrup and food coloring. That's how George Romero did it. I mean, he had Tom Savini make like 100 gallons of fake blood. He just sprayed it anywhere that he could. So
it worked out excellent too.
Yeah, there's nothing else I have to say about this. I did not watch any of the supplements. The kills were great. It held it up really well. The music was really bizarre. Do you have anything else you want to say about this movie?
Just the ending. I love the ending when how you were saying about the plush toys, how the guts come out. I don't want to give too many spoilers, but probably
it's on the box.
That's an awesome scene. Just him holding his guts.
Yeah.
And then does he start eating his own guts?
Yeah, he starts eating his own guts, and he dies.
I thought that. Yeah, I thought that was pretty cool. But that's pretty much all I got to say on that.
The moment he hits the ground, the credits roll. Like, they're like, okay, we're done. Like, credits go.
Instantly. There's a sequel to it called Absurd.
Oh, yeah, I know about them. Do I own it? Who released it?
88 Films, I think.
Okay, I've seen it.
I have it.
I've seen someone post about it. It's probably you. I think you talked about it in a whole
Might be.
video.
It's good, but I like the first one better.
I didn't realize they made a sequel. I don't know what they would do.
It's it's just like George Eastman. He's back, and he's like a mental patient escaping, and he's going around killing people in random houses and stuff.
It's not a true sequel. It's just one of those. It reminds me of the Stray Cat Rock collection from Arrow. That whole Stray Cat Rock collection do not take place in the same like series. It's just all like a director and the main star. They made the same type of movie like 6 times.
Oh,
Except it's really good. So
I have to look out for that. I've never heard of those. I've heard of the actress, but I've never heard of those.
Meiko Kaji. Okay, that's who it is. Yeah, she's great. I love her.
Nice.
But
I'm gonna have to look up some of that.
yep. We're at 20 minutes now, which is perfect because that's 2 hours if we keep at this pace. What was your first movie?
Okay, let's unveil it.
I want to know. I know nothing about what you watched.
This I did pick up on the Severin cell. It's Asylum, starring Peter Cushing.
Oh, I remember that.
And this is a 70s horror anthology film, British horror film, and it's like from Amicus, kind of like the Hammer and Amicus productions. And it's pretty much, this film is based on like a sane asylum, and you have a doctor that's pretty much trying to be a doctor in that asylum, but as he gets in there, he noticed like all kinds of weird stuff's going on. And there's a main doctor on a wheelchair saying he got injured by a crazy patient, and he pretty much he tells them, well, this is your initiation. You got to go through this asylum, which is like an actual house, but they just have crazies in rooms locked up. And he pretty much tells them, this is your initiation to see if you last the end of this, you will become the doctor here. And he's like, he goes in, and as he goes in each room, there's pretty much an insane person, and it goes into their story why they're there. And each one is like a horror tale, and it involves like murder. You see a body getting sliced up and the pieces moving around, which I thought was pretty cool. And then you also see, and this is a PG movie from the 70s.
Oh, wow.
So imagine. And then you see also another tells a woman, she's married, and let's see, got the notes here. Oh no, man, you have like a guy that makes tailor suits, and he's pretty much going bankrupt, and he gets this mysterious suit by Peter Cushing. He takes it in there, and pretty much the suit brings like a mannequin to life. It's pretty cool. And then the third story is you got a woman that doesn't believe she's insane, but she pretty much is getting taken care of her by her brother, and they have her with a nurse. The nurse leaves. She has an emergency, and pretty much the woman doesn't end up taking her pills, and she ends up going like pretty much insane and seeing stuff. She sees this like kind of like bad hallucinatory like person go in a room that's telling her to do bad stuff and all this. So she pretty much goes crazy on a killing spree and stuff. But yeah, those are the three tales, and then it all connects to the ending of the asylum. And then there's another guy trapped in there, and it leads to another story where he has like this weird voodoo doll robot, and it has his face on him. It's a robot with like an old man's face. And it pretty much, he controls it through like telepathic powers, and he has it going to kill the doctor, and pretty much it has his human organs inside the robot. It's weird. Just weird stuff. But yeah, those are the three tales, and it all connects to the final ending on the asylum. But yeah, it's very like, if you watch Hammer films, it's like it's got that setting. Or like, I don't know if Amicus was its rivalry or they're back then. I'm not too knowledgeable in that, but it pretty much has that feel to it. and a weird song throughout the film. I thought it was really strange. I didn't look at any of the special features, so I don't know too much on the extra. But I would compare this. I saw a lot of inspiration. I think Creepshow got from these films.
I was gonna ask because that's the golden anthology film is Creepshow.
I could see Creepshow got some ideas from this film.
Oh, it was before. Well, I guess it's Peter Cushing, so.
Yeah, this was like I believe it was in the 70s, early 70s.
Yeah, because Creepshow is like 84 or 86. It was like
Yeah, I think all those
right before or right after Day of the Dead is what I remember.
I think all those horror anthologies got ideas from here.
I'm trying to think any
But
other
yeah,
good. Huh?
I recommend this one.
I'm trying to.
I hope I didn't give away too many spoilers.
Nah. I'll probably forget anyways, and it sounds like one of those movies where Peter Cushing shows up very lightly. Is that true? Does he show up in just one scene?
He's just in one story,
Okay,
like one
I
anthology
assume
story.
that.
Yeah,
Because
yeah,
Christopher Lee, like Bela Lugosi, like all those Hammer, people, they'd show up in like one scene, like a movie, and they were in like 300 movies. Like that's how they were known. It's like every time they showed up, they were like, "Yeah, like this is gonna be a great, scene." Like that was it.
yeah. You could tell he was just a small role in this one, but I thought effective. I couldn't believe it was PG because it does have some pretty crazy scenes, kill scenes. But I enjoyed it. That's all pretty much I have to talk about that film. I think that was pretty quick.
Yeah, that was 6 minutes, I think. We're at 27
Damn.
minutes, 28 minutes. So about 8 minutes. Then that's good. Because again, we're not trying to spoil. We're trying to like pitch it. Like, because of course, I mean, we both know a lot about Giallo, so that's why our first movie was so long. Because we're both like adding to that. But this is like I have no knowledge of Hammer horror. Like, I've seen Peter Cushing in Star Wars. That's it. I know of him, but like,
Yeah, I've watched a few, but not to put me like knowledge in it a lot. I know I have a lot of other friends that know a lot more than I do, but it's this one. I think it paved the way, like I said, for like Creepshow, what other horror anthology films, Tales from the Hood, Trick or Treat, all those. I think they Trick or Treat definitely got the wraparound from this. I would say.
yeah, because Trick or Treat, they have separate stories, and it all leads to the end, and it sounds exactly like it. So
Yeah, it's like all connected to lead to that ending.
do you know ABCs of Death? That recent, like 2008.
I've heard of it, but I haven't seen it.
It's really fucking disgusting, actually. So basically, they have 26 directors come on, and they each have a letter of the alphabet, so A, B, C, D, E, whatever. And they each have to make a film titled a word that has that letter as the beginning. And there are some really good ones. Some of them are just really sick, like Serbian film levels of sick.
Wow.
And one of them is actually really good. It's about a boxer who, like, someone stole his dog and put it into, like, a dog fighting ring. And so he finds out that the guy who, like, took his dog is also a boxer, so he trains to be a boxer. And then he gets visions of him as his dog beating up. It's like, really artsy and, like, really good, actually. So, and then there's another one that's really awful that made me kind of leave the movie when I watched it when I was like 14, 15, when I saw it on Netflix, where they have a masturbation off or something. It's like a competition where can like come faster. And
Yeah.
it gets more and more perverted. So the first one, of course, is like a woman like strip teasing, and of course, our protagonist is like it's like a torture thing, where it's like, oh, if you survive, we'll let you go, whatever. And like by the end of it, it's like it's Serbian film. I mean, I should just say that, and you should know what I'm talking about, because I don't want to talk about it.
Yeah, that type of
It's that
that
stuff.
type of stuff. Yeah,
But
I'm gonna have to watch that.
I still haven't finished it. Every few years, I revisit it to try and get through it, but I can't. Like, that's how bad
Yeah.
it is. Not bad as in quality. Some of them are really fucking good. Like, I think B is like Bedtime Story, which is about someone who is like super like anti like religion and stuff, and they use like the most grotesque, monstrous like creature to like scare the kids into going to bed on time. And then the creature actually kills the mom instead of the kids, because it's like, oh, you didn't stay,
Oh
or you
wow.
stayed past your bedtime, and so the kids like don't hear the murder from the creature because they're in bed on time. That's probably one of my favorite stories in that ABC's of Death. But there was a point to that.
That sounds
It's a
sounds
later,
cool.
yeah, it's a later anthology film. It's the most recent one. Oh, I've seen VHS. Have you seen that?
Yeah, I seen VHS.
That
Yeah.
one's good. Well, the first short film of it's good. The vampire one. Everything else kind of
Yeah, it's real creepy. Yeah,
where the woman's at
that
the
that
bar.
actress just
And
looks creepy by herself.
yeah, her eyes are like way too big.
Yeah. I actually had to look twice to make sure because I was like, she's that. She don't even have to have practical effects on her makeup or anything like that. She's just naturally creepy.
Yeah, I really like VHS. I've seen it twice. I did make my parents watch it, like, I think for Halloween one year, like a year or two ago. And they didn't like it. They liked the vampire one, but they didn't like any of the other ones, and I agreed. But they were like, I don't get it. And I'm like, I don't either. The vampire one's the awesome one. That one's really good.
That's the one that stuck in my head the longest, still to this day.
Yeah, I'm not going bars anymore. Not because of COVID, but because of that. Feet of
Yeah.
succubus.
Exactly. She like opens up. Doesn't her body open up? Where does it?
Oh,
Is
yeah.
that all weird?
Like, they're in the hotel room, and her wings light you up from the body.
I'm like, man. I know when
Like that.
when you're drunk they turn prettier, but damn, that's just crossing the line.
Yeah, I think the coolest part of it was that it was told through the guy's glasses. Like, they attached like a micro camera to his glasses, like the middle. So it was like first person like shooting. And I was like, this is
Oh
great.
wow.
And you see him getting drunker and drunker, so the glasses are like, going back and forth as he's like trying to keep his balance.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a great first movie in that anthology.
Yeah, it was.
Nothing else mattered, but
That's pretty much all I had to say on that film.
all right.
Kept it real brief.
Yeah, I mean, it's fine. I mean, we talked about kind of the general context for the film. I think it's the earliest anthology. I can't think of any like before.
Yeah, it's actually 1972.
Oh wow. Okay. That's like right when Dario Argento was starting. That's interesting.
I said it's got to be early because it has Peter Cushing in it. He's from the early era of horror.
Yeah, because that's like 15 years before Creepshow. When did Creepshow come out? Creepshow 1982. Okay, so about 10 years separate. So that's pretty good.
Wow. Yeah, and like I said, it shocked me that it was a PG movie, PG rating, because it does have guts flying out and all that.
I wonder if it was like, they knew they weren't going to get many tickets, so they were trying to open up the market as much as they could, like when it came to theaters or whatever, or the drive-in theater.
Yeah, because it definitely has like a drive-in feel to it.
People standing around talking for 10 minutes, and then big monster attack.
Yeah.
Because I always talk about how boring the 1950s and 60s were for sci-fi. It's really like Close Encounters is when it started getting interesting in the sci-fi genre. Because what they would do was that they would stick a camera in the corner of a room for like 20 minutes. Because people didn't go to drive-ins to go see a movie. What were they doing, do you think?
They're making sweet love.
Yes, exactly. So they would have 20 minutes of like police officer talking about how dangerous, the monster is. The Blob is a very classic example. People love that movie.
Yeah.
I much prefer the remake because it's actually a dangerous blob and there's action scenes throughout. But in the old one, it's like, this is a dangerous creature. We gotta make sure it not goes into town. It's like 20 minutes of people standing in a fucking room and the camera doesn't move. So, and then there's like a scare scene for like 2 minutes where, you and your girlfriend are saying like, oh, it's so scary. Oh, it's done now. Okay, go back to making out, And that was the entirety of the genre. And so, I don't know where I was going with that, but it reminds me of that.
Proved a good point. That's what it's made for exactly. I could see it. Imagine how many of us were created at a drive-in, man.
Not me. My parents did not go to drive-ins.
I could just imagine. Just messing around there, but...
I did realize, because how it's like 9 months of, from conception to birth. My birthday is October 2nd. If you take away 9 months, it's New Year's. I noticed that a few years ago, and I was like, what?
Time for celebration, huh?
Yeah, I know. They got away from the kids. The grandparents were taking care of the kids while I was... What is that song? You Shook Me All Night Long by AC/DC.
Yeah.
We were making and you.
Love that song.
I'm a big AC/DC fan, although every single song sounds the same. And who's the guitarist? Malcolm Young? He's the bassist, though.
Yeah.
Whoever the guitarist is, he's like, I hate it when... it's not Angus. It's the other brother. He's like, I hate it when people say we've made, 14 of the same albums. Don't forget our first one. We've made 15 of the same albums.
Yeah.
Like they know. I mean, they know what works.
I love it on Maximum Overdrive, how they're all over that soundtrack.
Oh, they're on Iron Man 2. Have you seen that?
I haven't. I've only seen the first Iron Man.
Definitely watch the second one. AC/DC and whoever did the movie. I guess John... whatever
Did they bring Ozzy Osbourne on there for Iron Man?
They did not. Did they do that for Maximum Overdrive?
Doesn't Ozzy Osbourne have a song called Iron Man? Iron Man.
Oh, yeah. The trailer for the first movie, they had that.
No. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So that would have went perfect with the film.
Yeah, maybe it played during the movie. I mean, I saw it last in theaters in 2008. It was 13 years ago. I don't remember. Half my life ago. Uh-oh. Lost my connection. Oh, God. I can still hear you, but... Okay, I'm back, apparently.
Going in and out there, the connection.
It's fine. It won't sound off on my recording. So... It'll be as if I never had issues.
As long as it's good to go when it's recorded,
Shall I talk
and
about
that's when you can
the next
kick yourself
movie?
like, damn, internet. Yeah, go for it, man. It's your turn.
So this one's a rewatch for me. I've seen it before. I bought it because I thought I loved it. How long I was. on that. It's called Kathy's Curse by Eddie Matalon, who is a French Canadian. So I guess in Quebec is where the French Canadians are, because it's basically the Exorcist. It's a little girl in a well-to-do family gets possessed by a demon or something. In this movie, it's a doll. The doll is already possessed, and then the demon that's possessing the doll transfers to the little girl when she picks up the doll. But it's not really a little girl. It's like 12 years old. I don't think 12-year-old girls do dolls. Usually it's like, what, 6, 7? So it's a little bizarre, because she's like much older than what they're like passing her off on.
Yeah.
Because it's a horror film, they couldn't just get like anybody like off the street. This was her only movie she made. There's a amazing supplement that's about Kathy and her mom, the real life. The mom is like in her 80s or something. They like go to the home, and it's like, because throughout the movie, when she gets possessed by the devil or whatever demon, she's like, there's a very famous scene. There's like one of two scenes that matter in this entire fucking film, where she gets like an old man neighbor super drunk to like kill him for some reason. It's a really convoluted death, and she's like feeding him maggoty like meat and like all this stuff. And I think his wife comes over and is like, hey, what's going on? And sees him totally shit-faced. And the little girl is like being like a little bitch the entire time. Being like, shut up, fat whore, you fucking bitch, and like all this stuff. Like, this little girl is saying this. It's like hilarious. And on the supplement, the mom and the girl who played Kathy, she's not a girl anymore, she's in her 50s now, because it's 40 years ago. She's like, oh my goodness, we didn't get the script until I showed up. And my mom was just so shocked. I don't even know if I've even said these words before, let alone bitch. It's just like, ooh, yeah, it's like, first time I said that since filming this movie. Like, just really good, like, Canadian woman. And I don't know how they got involved in this film. It's really bizarre. But they had a great time with it. I mean, there's a scene, I talked about how it's a mix of Don't Look Now and The Exorcist, because there is that scene where she is drowning at the pond during winter, which is the opening scene of Don't Look Now. What year was Don't Look Now? 74, I think. Don't Look Now.
It's got to be there. Mid-70s, around there.
Because this movie is 1976. So we'll see if they just took that scene.
Nice.
73, yeah, so they took that scene. Okay, I was right. So
that explains the little girl cussing.
Yeah. And they have that drowning scene that's in the opening of Don't Look Now, which is like really haunting, but in this movie it's like bizarre because her mom gave her like a new jacket for her to wear on set or whatever for the movie. And it was like a really like gangster, like awesome, looking jacket. And they didn't realize it, but there was a lot of padding in it. So when she was supposed to do the drowning scene, it was like a life jacket. She just popped right back up, like every time.
Oh, wow.
But it's like in the winter, so it's like really cold water. So they were like, okay, we're just going to do one take of this. Do your best. And she jumped into the water and it sprang her back up, but it kind of worked. The drowning scene kind of worked. But the other notable scene is right at the beginning of the film. And for those, if you watch Red Letter Media, you've seen the episode. It's one of the most famous episodes where they watch this, Hack-O-Lantern, and Ninja Assassin, which is like a really shitty, like direct-to-video movie. But there's a scene at the beginning where a little girl is crying. She's the one who possesses the doll, who then possesses Kathy, and it's the whole thing. She is like crying, and the dad comes home. He's like, "What's wrong? what's going on? He's like, oh, mommy left us. Mommy took Timmy, or whatever her brother name is. And the next shot is him standing up. He's like, your mother's a bitch. It's like the most bizarre scene change ever. And they go off.
Great acting.
Yeah, I need to send it to you after this. But it's probably the funniest fucking clip. It's like a whole meme at this point in the entire Red Letter Media, like, fandom. Your mother's a bitch. Because he's, like, sitting there. He looks very sincere, you know, very fatherly, you know. And then she says that, and suddenly he's standing up, and he's like, your mother's a bitch. He's just shouting down at this little girl.
Completely switches. It just switches.
It's quick. So bizarre. It's that scene and the little girl cussing the woman out. Those are the only two scenes worth watching. I mean, you've seen Exorcist, you've seen Don't Look Now. Watch those movies instead. I mean, there is a really good interview with the woman who plays Kathy and her mom, who's like 80 years old and can't move. Like, it's a really interesting interview where they talk about it, how much fun it was, you know, because they did it during school, like in the winter. So it was like, you know, finish classes, go on over to the set, you know, film a couple scenes. But that's really all I have to say. Go watch Exorcist and Don't Look Now instead. I mean, those two moments are hilarious. It's a lot of fun to watch in a group of friends. Because I have done that. I used to do cult film night or whatever, where I would, in my dorm hall, Will actually help me do this. Because my original movie night club, like, wouldn't let me be a part of it. So I was like, fuck you, I'll make my own. So I did. I made Cult Movie Club. And we watched, you know, House, we watched Tampopo, Kathy's Curse,
it's because you were the rebel. You were the bad guy.
Oh, yeah. But hey, I got my own budget, so... Oh, well, I got lots of popcorn and, you know, chips and salsa and all that, so hey. But I showed Kathy's Curse one night, had a couple of friends over. We couldn't have alcohol because it is an official dorm event, so I couldn't just show up with, like, beers, but everyone had a great time. Yeah. It's a fun movie to watch in a group to, like, make fun of. It's not a good movie, is my point. It's fun to make fun of.
It's actually on Shudder. I want to see it. It's on there.
I would recommend it for free, like on Shudder. I know technically you have to pay the subscription, but you know what I mean. I think it's worth watching it through that. I mean, this was like $10 Blu-ray. Has a commentary, a couple interviews. There's an alternate US release cut, which is 10 minutes shorter than the original cut. Because this movie is a whole lot of people standing around talking. I mean, the entire time. And when the US got a hold of the cut, they were like, hey, we're taking out 10 minutes of this. And they did, and it's much better. I watched the US cut instead. My first time I watched it was the director's cut, and oh my god, that was boring. But this one was a little faster paced. Not enough, though. It should have been like 70 minutes instead of 80. So.
It didn't need to go that long.
Yeah, it's so bad. It's one location, okay? Which I always talk shit about. Like, that movie Versus, which I got on Arrow Video, like, that movie's amazing, but it's like 2.5 hours and then a forest the entire time. Mix it up. Suburban Sasquatch was mixing it up, okay? Anybody can change locations. Just do it. Sit in the woods the entire time.
The only way you could do that is if you're the caller, that movie.
Yeah, because you have the master class of Malcolm McDowell. Like, he's awesome. The woman is awesome in that. I mean, they go like 1 or 2 locations, but it just adds to it. Like the scene where in the middle, I think, towards the end, when they go to like basically the Grand Canyon, and they're like taking pictures, and he's like, "Don't take my picture," and she's like, "Oh, but why?" He's like, "Don't take my picture." It's like really scary, like really great scene. And this movie, it's like they have like 4 rooms. They have the staircase, they have the kitchen, they have the bedroom, and they have the attic where they found the doll. Oh, it's bad. Watch it with a group of friends. That's all I
Yeah,
recommend.
I recommended The Caller to a friend on here, Lauren's Collection on YouTube, and she was asking me for VS recommendations. So I recommended it to her. She watched it. She was blown away by it too.
I'm trying to think of any last things on this. I don't think I have any. Watch the US cut. It's 10 minutes shorter and just that much better. It's a Canadian weird movie.
I'll look out for that.
It was
And
considered
you said you
lost.
compared it to like The Exorcist, right?
Yeah, it says on here Exorcist, Omen, and Carrie inspired. No, it's not inspired. It's taken from those.
Mhm.
The cover's sweet.
Oh,
I'll
shit.
say that.
Yeah, I like the cover. I saw that.
The tagline for the movie is it's a really long one. It's not as it's not as much of a hook than Last House on the Left. Just tell yourself it's a movie. But in this one it says, I sent mommy to the madhouse. I scared the butler to death. I threw Nanny out the window. Now 3 of us are left. Daddy, Dolly, and me. So it gives away the plot in that tagline, by the way.
There we go. Yeah.
Just saying.
Spoiler alert.
Yeah. That's all I have for mine. There's nothing else. Go watch Don't Look Now and Exorcist instead. There's nothing else. Nothing to be. Just look up the Red Letter Media episode.
I'm still gonna
You'll
watch
get
it
all
just
the highlights
to look at
from
it.
yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna look into that channel. I need to watch more of that.
They have a lot of great reviews.
Pretty much, I've talked to them like they're pretty much on point.
What are next?
Okay, so you want me to go now?
Huh?
Do you want me to start reviewing my second film?
Yeah.
No.
What you got?
Okay. Okay, for the second film, I'm going to, and we could have used this for a later segment, killer animal film. And this is an Italian film, so it's going to be batshit crazy. And it's 1984. It's called Wild Beasts. I don't know if you've seen it or not.
I've never even heard of it. I may have seen the cover, but I see a picture. I may have recognized it.
I've never seen this till now. First time watch.
Hey, was the
So I'm
last
right
one
away
the
get-
first time watch?
Yeah,
Okay,
all these were all the films.
that's
Yeah.
good. Okay, I just want to make sure.
So I'm gonna start off by bad English dub. That's what I have written down. It's an Italian film, so it has very bad English dub where it's laugh out loud. It has an awesome catchy score in it. You know that Italian scores, they always get you.
They always do. It's probably Ennio Morricone. I mean,
Yeah. Okay, so this film's basically about it's insane, like I said, Italian. They pretty much put PCP, angel dust, inside the water stream.
I'm intrigued already.
And fucking the animals drink it, right? In a zoo. And after they drink the PCP water, they turn into killer animals. And pretty much
Wow.
start escaping. And I told you it's Italian, it's gonna be crazy. So anyways, there's a scene where they're the big cat section, like the cheetahs, all that, lions, tigers, and they drank the PCP, so they're pretty much turning crazy. And you just got this, they're feeding them horses' heads. They're devouring horses in this film, and pretty much giving them like horses' heads and their body parts, and showing the lions and all the big cats eating it. And pretty much they get tired of that snack. They want the human snack. So they pretty much have this guy that runs the zoo. He's actually a real animal specialist film that controls the animals as well, and he's the actor. And he pretty much has this thing where he could calm the animals down, but I guess they get too out of control where he leaves the zoo, and pretty much these animals break out and start eating the people, all the zoo crew or whatever. And they're in this weird like room, like this computer room, where everything just starts firing up, and all of a sudden, this is one of the most goriest animal films I've seen. Like you
Ooh.
see heads getting ripped off and eyeballs popped out. And I don't know how they did it. There's real animals just tearing apart people. Obviously, it's practical effects, but
Have you seen that movie Grizzly, where like 30 people in the crew like got injured by like lions?
yeah,
I haven't seen it.
yeah, oh yeah, that's actually what this film I can compare it to. Actually,
What was the name of this? I need to write this down.
it's a Wild Beasts, and it's a film by Franco Prosperi. It's Italian, Italian.
I'll just type in Franco. I'm sure
But
Google
this is
will
the most
autofill.
goriest killer animal film I've seen to date.
I'm trying to think of a gory animal film. Jaws? And it's not gory, it's just puffs of red. I can tell they
Like,
unloaded the food coloring into the ocean.
yeah, this one has like eyeballs getting ripped out, throats being blood spray. I mean, it's insane. And then you have a elephant crushes a lady's head in, and you just see the blood just go all through the road. They're the town. The animals are raiding the town, and you have elephants just knock cars to the side and flying into buildings and stuff like that. Oh, and then there's a couple making out, and all these rats come out of the sewer and just go in the car and start devouring them.
Oh my god.
It's just insane, dude. It's batshit crazy Italian film.
That
And then
sounds
you have,
awesome.
dude, you got to see this one. And then there's after the rats, they come to stop them, and like all the like the fucking fire engine people, the fire department, everyone they can't stop the rats, they're attacking them as well. So they pretty much they're like spraying them with hoses to get the water, send them back in the sewer, and it's not working. The rats are like jumping and biting at people and stuff. And then you see the fire department go, "It's not working. Bring the fire!" So they all get blow torches and start burning the rats with blow torches. You just see rats flying
I
with
was hoping it
flames.
was going to be a Return of the Living Dead situation where they just nuke the town.
That's probably what they should have done.
Because holy shit, PCP powered animals just
Yeah.
massacring entire towns. I've
And then
never even
you have
heard
a
of this
scene-
movie until now.
I hadn't either until I got it. Like someone recommended it to me, and I was like, I gotta see this. You have a girl in what is it, a Volkswagen convertible. A cheetah spots her out, and he's running toe to toe with a car.
They can
She's, like,
run
trying
that
to get
fast,
away
like
from-
30 miles an hour.
Yeah, and she's like trying to dodge him. Then you have the cops and this zookeeper trying to rescue her, and then they just like explode and go in a fire. They're burning alive. They pull the girl out burning alive, dude. She's like half burned. And then the cheetah just like splits. He knows he did his job. It's like crazy, dude.
Oh my god.
And then you have like, to top it off, it goes to like a weird ballet scene. You have these little kids, like these odd kids. They're like in like a ballet. They're like ballet, you know. And you have this girl. It shows a little girl naked.
Oh no.
I don't know why. I don't know why, man. I was like, little girl nudity. And I was like, there's no need for this, you know?
I thought you were gonna say they unleashed a pack of tigers on the ballet class.
No.
I was like, yeah,
Anyways,
there we go.
It's not a tiger, it's a polar bear.
Okay,
The
that's
fucking
even
polar
better.
bear goes into the ballet and starts ripping the ballet teacher apart.
Oh,
So then you got all of them running for cover. They go into a little gym area, and the kids start drinking the water with PCP.
and they all.
And then you have the fucking kids turn into killers.
Oh
So they're
my
all running
God.
around with fucking knives trying to stab the teachers and shit.
What the? How come I've never heard of this until now?
Dude, this film is insane. So then you have pretty much one of the girls doesn't like water. She likes Coca-Cola.
She's
So
a
she
fat
drinks
kid, right?
Coca-Cola. No, she's skinny. She's the one
Oh.
that had the girl. She had the girl nudity scene. Weird. I don't know why. But anyways, it's her mom and dad trying to rescue her. And when they get there, the little kids have the teachers like sliced up in a room. And they're like, let's play a game. And the little kid's walking with a knife like Chucky and shit. And then
Would
you
you like
got
to play a game? Jigsaw says in the corner.
yeah, and fucking you have the zookeeper. He's the dad. He gets there and pretty much sees the kids and plays this like haunting song, and then it ends just like that with the kids.
Oh, he was gonna kill them,
So
I guess.
yeah, and he's with his eyes open. Oh my god, you know. But
That
yeah,
sounds crazy. That's so
this film
awesome.
is insane, dude. Only the way
Holy
the
shit.
Italians could do it. Telling you.
Because everyone talks about Grizzly, where like everyone got injured, and that's where the
Uh,
fun is. But like, it's actually a really boring film. That, from what I've heard, I haven't seen it because I don't
yeah.
want to pay money for that and just watch everyone get murdered. I mean, what's her name? She was in The Birds and like all those Alfred Hitchcock films. Like he destroyed her career. Like
You're telling me about that.
after she uh, kind of ratted him out as being like a pervert and like a piece of shit because he would throw live birds at her while filming. I mean, you can see this in the movie. I mean, I have a copy
Oh, that's
where
bizarre.
she like her face is getting cut up by the bird's talons and like beaks, and so she like told everybody to the press like, "Hey, Alfred Hitchcock is a piece of shit," you know, and he just destroyed her career, and she ended up doing this fucking no budget film called Grizzly, where they filmed at some crazy guy's house who owned like 40 tigers, like 20 bears, and like all this cheetahs and like everything. Some crazy guy in Florida, probably. And she, like, her head got stomped by an elephant, like, in real life. She got attacked by a cougar, like, almost lost her eye during the filming. Like, all
Yeah,
this stuff. Like, but, like,
that's
this
crazy.
movie, it sounds like everything in the film is, like, insane. Because
Oh yeah,
outside of her treatment, it's, like, really boring. It's, like, people walking around tigers that are, like, just finished eating, so they're not hungry. Like, they're not going to attack anyone.
yeah. This one's gory. You like gore, man. It has it. I thought that was insane once they said PCP's in the water. That's what's it doing. I was like, what the fuck?
And
And
you
this
just
guy's like
saw the movie
explaining it.
before your eyes, and you buckled in your seatbelt, and you're like, here we go. Let's do this.
And the scientist like, it's called angel dust to some people. I'm like, what? He's like going into detail. This is what it does to your brain. This is what it can do.
What's funny is that I've told you about Rudy Ray Moore, one of my favorite blaxploitation stars. He
Yeah,
self-funded his own movies. But there's a movie called Disco Godfather, which I think is a much better film than Dolomite. But Dolomite is a whole lot of fun. Especially the Vinegar Syndrome release, where it comes with the boom mic edition. Where they have the original like VHS copy, where they did not know how to crop it. So you saw the boom mic constantly, like in the film. But like for Disco
shit, man.
Godfather, it's all about how someone brings PCP to, you know, black neighborhoods and gives it to all the kids. And so
Oh, wow.
I don't know, I think this is just the movie, but it opens gates to hell. So the kids who take PCP become possessed by Satan. And so Rudy Ray Moore is the Disco
shit, man.
Godfather. He owns a like brothel, basically, a strip club, and he's like, yeah, he's like playing funk music. He's like getting down and jiggy with it, and then he fights demons. And the end of the film is just legitimately one of the best endings ever. I'm not even gonna talk about it because I don't want to spoil it, but
I'm gonna have to check that one out.
it's
for
a
sure.
much more tasteful take on the kids taking PCP, not this movie that you're talking about.
Nah, this one's in the water stream. Animals drinking it and shit.
I'm so happy I wrote that down. I've never even heard of that. I've heard of Grizzly because everybody has, because of
Yeah,
Hepburn. What's her
I love
name?
Grizzly, but this one takes the cake, man.
Anything else?
Who's
I
in
got this.
Grizzly? Uh, no, I pretty much explained all the movie there. I didn't want to give away too many spoilers. But probably some did slip out there, but yeah, if you want to see a gory one, this is the goriest to me that I've seen.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to check it out. Shall I go into it? This is the one you don't know about.
Ah, surprise! Here
It's
we
not
go.
that big of a surprise. There's not many Severins I own, so you can probably guess. But so this one is one you've recommended, and also I've always said I need more Fulci into my collection. It is Enigma! Yay! I finally got it.
Enigma,
I finally
nice.
watched it, and I did not like it at all.
You did it. Damn.
it's It seems like they took the script from Phenomena and threw in Lucio Fulci visuals, and then took out the
Mhm.
amazing soundtrack by Iron Maiden playing the song "Flash of the Blade," because that plays like 5 times through Phenomena,
Oh wow.
and it's
Yeah.
awesome. I love it. I know how to play that guitar riff, by the way,
Hmm.
in that beginning, and it's like really fun. I love Phenomena, big fan of it. Jennifer Connelly is just amazing in it. I mean,
Oh yeah, masterpiece.
she turned out to be really fucking amazing, and Requiem for a
Well known.
Dream. I totally did not look at my shelf just then to figure out the title, but she's great in that, and she's great in Phenomena. Only good thing I can say about this movie is that the women were hot. I mean,
Yeah.
lots of nudity in this film. Um, I don't know
Was it?
anybody. Lucio Fulci seemed like he did nothing in this movie. I mean, this was 1987. I know
Uh,
him from Don't Torture a Duckling, which is one of my favorite films. City of the Living Dead, that one's good. Zombie, all of those are 70s. And this is late 80s. So,
mhm.
like, I have a feeling that he was sick at this point. Because I also own, I meant to watch it during this Withering Watchpile episode. Wax Mask, the final
Yeah.
film he worked on. And that was late 80s, like 88, 89. So like a year or two later. Early 90s at most. And so I have a
Yeah.
feeling that he just wasn't into it as much in this film. I mean, when did Phenomena come out? That was like mid 80s. Because we talked
Yeah.
about earlier about how, we talked about the Giallo um, genre in regards to Anthropophagus.
Yeah.
And yeah, 1985. This was before? I don't believe that. Oh, never mind, it's after. Oh, okay. Yeah, okay, it's 2 years after Phenomena. So, that was so obvious. I mean, we know that they were best friends. So it's not like, fuck you, Lucio Fulci, you stole. It was more like, he just didn't do anything interesting, with
Mhm.
this material. Because I'm sure Dario Argento was like, here's my screenplay. Do what you want, Lucio. And he was like, okay, thanks. And he did it. He did nothing new. It was the kills were not interesting. They were bullying the daughter of the housekeeper, who has, as they call her, I don't like this word at all, but the retarded daughter.
Yeah.
They have that trope where it's like, oh, you're the killer, all this stuff. But, like, none of the kills were interesting. I think it was the same house, honestly, from Phenomena. It was laid out
Mhm.
very similarly, where all the girls of the school, it was like 4 bedrooms in a row on like the north wall or whatever. It was like 4 doors, to the bedrooms. It was exactly the same layout as Phenomena. So that was like, not only did it look, the story was the same as Phenomena, but the look of it.
Yeah.
It wasn't even like higher quality or lower quality. It was just the same.
Yeah.
And so I was like really disappointed by that. Everybody warned me about this, honestly.
Hmm.
Saying that like, yeah, it's basically Phenomena. But like I was
Yeah.
really hoping for something more out of this. I mean, we do get the woman in the hospital who was like the bullied, whatever plot point
Yeah.
that was that I my soul left my body by that point when she was actually doing stuff. But like, what makes Phenomena amazing is that Jennifer Connelly is taking control of ants and solving crime, while Donald Pleasance has a pet monkey who also solves
Yeah.
crime. Like, it's awesome. I love Phenomena.
Awesome concept right there.
And you also have Iron Maiden doing the score. So I mean, like, you can't go wrong.
Yeah.
This would be a really good movie to watch if you know nothing about Lucia Fulci or Dario Argento. It's the only
Yeah.
way I can find to pitch this. I mean, the cover's cool. It's the woman with the screaming face and the hair going everywhere and the claws. Like, it looks great.
Yeah.
I just, I'm not gonna get rid of this. I don't think.
Hmm.
It's so funny. It says on the back here, Lucia Fulci's batshit fan favorite in 4K for the first time. Nobody's fan favorite. If you
That's
know
a
who
lie.
Lucio Fulci is, you know who Dario Argento is. Okay?
Oh yeah.
I don't believe it for a second.
Yeah. I agree with you. It's not his best work, and like you said, it's later '80s, so he was
He was sick. I mean, he was
beyond
on his
his
deathbed.
prime. Yeah. Yeah. And it struggled. You
And I
could see.
don't blame him at all. It's just, like as I said, I can totally see him and Dario Argento hanging out, being like, hey, can I remake a movie? Yeah, sure.
Mhm.
It's like friendly. Like, it's not
I,
like.
I can't believe I recommended this because I don't think I would have recommended it. I
I
must
think
have.
you said like you gotta watch it if you're a Lucio Fulci fan, and I was like,
Yeah.
okay. Which like I understand because I say the same about like Peter Jackson. Like go watch Meet the Feebles, like
Yeah.
which nobody
Yeah.
likes, but I think it's a lot of fun. But like
Yeah. I probably said it's worth a watch or something like that. But
it was cheap. I mean, I
yeah.
wasn't double charged shockingly by Severin.
And yeah, it is. Is this the one that has the snails in it? The snail scene?
Yes, the best
Oh,
part.
okay. That's the best part of the film was that snail scene. I was gonna
I
say.
forgot about that. I forgot to. I didn't do any notes, by the way. This is all from memory. So
Oh well, doing a
yeah.
good job.
This is gonna be a way less effort series for me.
It's not Criterion.
Yeah, I'm not gonna go deep into uh, the social commentary. Unless we're talking about Night of the Living Dead, because I love that shit. So
So what film would you compare this to? Or you're not there yet?
Phenomena.
Phenomena, what you've been talking about?
I mean, it's from the script. I mean, I didn't look at any supplements. I'm sure there's a documentary. There's nothing to do with Fulci. Okay, it's all the whoever did the photography, whatever bullshit, random guy who's still alive. But I would not be surprised if Fulci got the script from Phenomena because it was 2 years after that he made this movie. So I wouldn't be surprised if he got the script and was like, I am Lucia Fulci. I do weirder shit than Dario
Yeah,
Argento. Dario Argento is very stylistic, in my opinion.
yeah,
And Lucia Fulci is very like, let me make you want to throw up.
yeah.
And
I gotta bring
so,
out that gore, that disgusting stuff for you.
yeah, like the slug scene, I was like not feeling well watching that. Imagining being eaten alive by snails, like that's not
Oh my
something
god.
that's ever crossed my mind, ever in my life.
Yeah, that scene I enjoyed, man.
What other movie though? I don't want to just say Phenomena. That's lazy because we know that he probably took the script. Um, maybe Suspiria, honestly, because they do go
Mhm.
into the random rooms and people get killed off slowly. Like, because the scene that
Yeah,
comes to my mind is the woman who like opens the door, looks around, and is like, "Oh, this room looks safe," and she walks in, it's just barbed wires everywhere.
yeah, that was crazy.
Yeah, like
I
that's the
felt that
scene
through
that
my
makes me.
skin. I felt
Yeah,
that scene through my skin, bro.
Dario Argento has those really great like haunted house type of scenes.
Yeah.
And that's what this movie felt like. It was a mix of Suspiria and Phenomena.
It's like we've seen it before, but better.
And like, I feel bad for saying that it's bad because he is sick. When did Lucia Fulci die? I'm not good.
I'm not sure. I know he died through wax mask.
Because Wax Mask, 1996. Okay, way later. Okay.
Oh, no, then never mind. I'm off.
Yeah, so was I. I thought it was way, like, right after. 9 years. Okay, that's not as bad.
So he died. Yeah,
like,
he did die during Wax Mask.
God, I didn't know Wax Mask was that late. Ugh. 1990s.
Yeah, that's 97.
Jello. Ugh. I'm older than it. Ugh. God. I'm the baby.
Like with Wax Mask, it's gotten mixed reviews. I enjoyed it, but there's people that have hated it, so I could see it going either way. Me too.
That's awesome. I have it. It was like $20, I think, which is I'm fine with when it comes to slip covers. I'm still really pissed off about Error Video. Well, they just won't tell you if it's slip cover or not. Yeah. I'll give Severin that. They differentiate between slip cover and non. Because they gave me both the slip and the non-slip of Saint Bernard and made me pay for it, and I didn't ask for that. I just wanted the slip.
It's the slip. Have you shopped on Orbit DVD?
I've been following them lately on Instagram. Oh my god.
It's cool because like on their selections they tell you if there's a slip or not. Like when you're gonna buy film, they'll say with slip, or it won't say nothing that doesn't have the slip. I think that's golden.
They have the Children of the Corn trilogy. I always forget that happened. Well, that's happened.
I haven't seen those films, but I'm interested in it.
I will say I could not finish the first one. It's just not my thing.
It's that bad. Or it's just not your thing.
It's just not my thing.
You're up a key.
It's just boring.
Straight up.
Like...
boring.
I would recommend... I'm trying to think of a killer children film.
Village of the Dam. Is that good?
I haven't seen that. I've heard of it.
I have it. I have it, but I haven't seen it.
Cover. I know.
That's Carpenter, right? Village of the Dam.
I believe so, yeah. Killer children. What's in that genre aside from Village?
I know a good one from Mondo Macabro.
Which one's that?
It's all Who Can Kill a Child. Have you seen that one?
I've heard of it. I haven't seen it.
That one's good, man. Atmospheric, like fuck.
I'd rather have atmospheric than like super action. Like,
it's an island movie, and they go there and there's like fucking killer kids, and the town's like abandoned. They don't show themselves right away, man. Keeps you like wondering what's in this island, even though you know.
Trick or Treat. There's a killer kid in there.
Yeah.
With the pumpkin head.
Oh yeah.
Have you seen
Sam?
that?
Was it Sam?
Yeah, Sam.
Oh yeah, I love that film.
You better. Oh my! I was about to like switch out my switchblade and cut you if you didn't watch it. It's one of my favorite anthology films.
Just don't bring out the Fists of Fury like you were saying earlier.
I'm gonna throw some fists around if you don't watch it.
Fists of Fury, man. Oh yeah, Trick or Treat's a must-watch for me in October every year.
I discovered it like 2 years ago because I'd seen the trailers. And I was like, oh, it sounds stupid. Had a lot of jump scares in the trailer and like all this stuff. And then I watched it and there were no jump scares at all. It was great.
That's what I'm saying. I think they got some from Asylum, like a wraparound story. I think it had to have some inspiration.
There has to be. I mean, that director has been trying to make Trick or Treat 2 for like years now. He's still trying to make it. But what's your next movie?
Or was it?
I don't have anything else to say on it.
Oh, time to get into the final one here.
I'm curious. Just watch it be something I've already watched, and it's like just rehashing what I've said.
Uh,
I know that's gonna
possible. I
happen
don't know.
eventually.
So this ain't horror.
Oh,
Wow,
it's a documentary.
it's softcore. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh, really?
Okay.
Oh, I was gonna say Vampires Lesbos.
Yeah.
I bet that's what it is.
Oh, I want to see that, but
Just
this is a thriller drama.
oh.
Wow. It's 1983's Siege,
Oh yeah.
and it has the famous cover. I think you made fun of it a couple times.
Yeah, yeah. I made fun of it. It's the one with the two old white people who had like a protest coming by the house, and they just showed up with
Yeah.
like AK-47s, and all of a sudden it was like peacefully like protesting like away from the house, and they just fucking came out with AK-47s like M16s.
When you told me that, I think I spit out my drink.
So I remember
But
I
anyways.
was like, "Hey, have you seen this yet? Like this is what reminds me of this." And you were like, "Oh
But
my god."
Anyways, I gotta say this is my favorite film out of the bunch.
I remember you said that, and I was
Mhm.
like, "What is it? What is it? Is it Vampires Lesbos?"
Man, this film was so good. I'm gonna describe it as a mixture of Assault on Precinct 13 mixed
Great
with
film.
Deadly Games Code Santa.
Dial
But
Code
an
Santa
adult-
Claus?
But an adult version, no kids.
I don't know, man. Dial Code Santa Claus was pretty adult.
I wouldn't say as good, but it got some stuff taken from those films.
What year?
But
is it?
anyways, 1983.
Okay, because Dial Code Santa Claus is 89. Because Home Alone came out in 90,
Oh wow.
and they had to
So
settle out of
maybe-
court.
Maybe this had got inspired to them. I don't know. But
That's
anyways,
kind of shocking. Because I've never heard of Siege until Severin was like, "Here you go. Here's a new movie."
yeah, it really entertained me the whole film, man. I wasn't like bored at all. And anyways, this starts pretty much with a group called the New Order, and they're a hate group. They hate everyone that's not them. You know what I mean? They get this idea to get buddies together, make weapons in their wood shop, and pretty much go to a gay bar
Hey.
and pretty much commit a hate crime.
Oh.
And
So just like
They
those people in
actually-
that picture.
yeah. So anyways, they go harass these gay people at the bar, and they end up pretty much killing one on accident. So then they call their leader. He's a hitman, professional hitman. He shows up, pretty much tells them no witnesses. So they end up pulling out a silencer gun and pretty much killing these people one by one. But then one of them escapes, one of the gay guys. And he goes running through the town, and you got these crazy guys here just chasing him through the town, trying to pretty much, kill all the witnesses. They go into this apartment complex, end up with this couple's home who are pretty much taking care of disabled people. You got a blind guy. You got two blind guys.
Got Ichi.
And Ichis, some Ichis, yeah.
Ichi's over
That's what
there.
it reminded me of. And then you got them, and pretty much they want to kill that guy. He's hiding in there, and they're not going to get him up. And you got this couple that pretty much don't know what they're getting into. And they have a neighbor who pretty much goes into their house through a mirror. Like a mirror you'd have in a bathroom. It opens, and he can go in there into their house. Like neighbors or something. And like friends, and he's like a master in building stuff. He could put gadgets together, whatever. And you pretty much have this hate group who they threaten not to let in. They get all kinds of silencer, badass gun weaponry, and surround them in the apartment complex. And pretty much say that if they don't release them, they're all going to be murdered. So they get snipers on a roof, have them caved in the apartment complex. And all these people in the apartment have is what they have around the apartment. They have a rifle with 2 bullets. They have just weaponry around, like a little hatchet, axe, whatever they can find to protect themselves. These guys have like silencers and sniper rifles and stuff like that, and they're pretty much harassing them. They're trapped in there, and it's pretty much a home invasion film to get in the apartment. And you have these ones build gadgets to fight back. Like one of the guys builds like a out of this thing. He builds like a out of a pipe. It's kind of like a little missile launcher, and they shoot it at, and it just throws screws out. Just stabs one of the guys through his face with a bunch of screws. And it's real like creative. Like that's what it reminded me of Code Santa, because he had to build stuff around the apartment complex to keep him out. And then you see them just invade the apartment, and they're the underdogs. They take them out one by one with less weaponry. You have some gory scenes I won't get into, but I mean you have it's pretty fun, man. Pretty fun movie, and it has the ending, which I mean you have that end boss, the hitman, professional. He goes in there to take him out, and he's real like he pretty much leaves them without any chance really, but it leads to that final showdown. I can't get into too much without giving spoilers, but yeah, that's where it reminded me a lot, because you see these guys cruising through the town with like, have you seen Assault on Precinct 13, where they're just cruising through the town looking to start stuff? Yeah, that's these guys. Oh, and also the cops. Forgot to mention the cops are on strike, so there's no police officers around. So the whole town's just empty. It has like this real menacing look to the town. So you see these guys cruising, and that's what reminded me. And then the Code Santa reminded me of the invasion, but it's an apartment complex. But a lot of great kills in the film, and creative, I thought.
Have you seen Death Wish 3?
Yeah.
That's the movie that I'm thinking of instead of Dial Code Santa Claus. Because
I think
Charles
you're more
Brosnan is setting up traps the entire time. Although he does now order a Gatling gun and just fucking kills people. And not using the traps. But I think there's a better connection to that. Because what year was Siege?
1983.
Okay, 2 years later, Death Wish 3 was made.
Wow.
So there might have been some...
You hit it spot on. Death Wish 3 is what I would probably compare it to more.
Because I embarrassingly own the first 4 films of the Death Wish series.
Oh, I love that series.
It's a guilty pleasure. I hate the whole, like, oh, you're bleeding heart liberal. And I'm like, okay, we get it. Oh, no, your wife and daughter got raped. Oh, time to take up guns. You're a bleeding heart liberal. It's like, okay, we get it. It's like the mad delusions of, like, a right-winger thinking they can convert, like, left-wingers to, like, guns. It's like, no, there's a lot more.
I'm telling you, this film, though, you will be impressed with the stuff they come up with, like, to protect themselves. Because they really don't have nothing. I mean, these guys have, like, high-tech weaponry. And it's pretty intense, man. They build, like, an electric device into the door where it'll just shock them. And you just instantly kill them, just fry them.
I just imagine someone reaching to, like, open the door. To, like, a doorknob.
Yeah.
Guys.
And then there's just like this random drunk dude in the apartment complex. He's just always drunk. He's always all happy.
All the traps.
He's like, today's a good day. I could just see him walking up and grabbing the
darkness is my advantage.
Yeah, and the blind people. It's very Ichi like, because he puts a glass to the door and he could hear like their footprints where they're moving. How many guys there are? It's crazy. But yeah, I really enjoyed this film.
Well, if I ever get beyond the cover, I'll have to check it out. Because it looks
that
really
cover
bad.
Don't pay attention.
I don't know
to
why
it.
They did that. They should have chosen.
It's like not even.
Else.
They look nothing like that, dude. The guy has like a Rambo jacket on, and the wife's like smoking cigarettes and like has a punk rock style. I don't know what.
That's my favorite thing about Deadly or Dial Code Santa Claus is that the kid is like the son of like, super wealthy family. And so he has all these gadgets and he uses, I love that scene in the beginning where he's working out and they sprayed on, water vapor on his arms to make it look like he's like working out.
Yeah.
The Goonies. And he's like pulling levers and like his floor collapses and he jumps over like pike pits.
Yeah.
So there's a hilarious.
It's fucking playing Eye of the Tiger in French, dude.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I forgot about that. I remember I read about that afterwards. I was like, fuck. Like I've been purposely not watching that film outside of like December because I got it last Vinegar Syndrome Black Friday sale and it showed up the day after Christmas. So it was really awkward to get like 10 Vinegar Syndrome stuff like the day after Christmas when I got a bunch of new movies. But like I remember that one, I was like, I'm never gonna watch this off holiday. Like this is so awesome.
Love it. It's my favorite Christmas horror movie next to Black Christmas.
Yeah, I really like Black Christmas.
Those are my two go-tos. And Silent Night, Deadly Night. I like that one too.
I haven't seen that. I almost bought that last October during the Scream Factory sale, but it sold out. Everything sold out by the time I got to it.
Oh man, you got to get that one. Have you seen it before? You haven't seen it, you said?
I'm just gonna watch the second one because I know they take all the important footage from the first movie and they put it into like the first 30 minutes of the second movie.
The second one's the first one, just with added footage, pretty much.
That's what I've heard, so I don't have any interest in the first one. I know the second one's like infamous and like how awesome it is.
Yeah. Garbage Day.
Garbage Day. Yeah, Red Letter Media did a episode on it. They had Macaulay Culkin come on, actually.
Oh man, was he sober?
Probably not. No, nobody's sober on that show. They all get drunk.
Just like us.
But is there anything else?
That's pretty much the film. Karen's Gone Wild. Just kidding.
Because in all the different movies we watched tonight, we ask, what would you replace it with? Like a better movie. But is there one better than this? Like Death Wish 3 is the only one. And like Dial Code Santa Claus is a stretch in my opinion between this and that. So
yeah, I'd have to say better? Death Wish 3 is better. But I don't know. This one's more creative.
Because it is Charles Bronson like drunk the entire time, like murdering minority people.
But what I gotta say is Bronson had the weaponry. These guys didn't. They're piss poor. They built whatever they can.
And that's more interesting to me. Like having to be resourceful.
Because their apartments like dirt. You'd look at it and you'd be, well, it's like some weed a normal person would live. They're not luxurious at all.
It's not Charles Bronson mail ordering a Gatling gun.
No.
He just shows up, hey, I got this in the mail, and it's a fucking Gatling gun. It's just like, who did you order that from? Amazon doesn't have that.
In this fucking film, there's a scene where they lower a guy in by like a alarm clock and they blow his head off with hairspray tied to a lighter. Light his face on fire, and then they shoot an arrow through his throat. You just see all the blood. Like from a bow and arrow set.
Oh my god.
And it's pretty wicked, man.
Man, two of your movies sound awesome.
Yeah. Yeah.
The other
Siege
one, I think you said you didn't like. But
I did, but it's not. It's the lower.
There's nothing close.
It's the lower. It's the lower of the stack. But definitely check out Wild Beasts and Siege.
What is my favorite movie out of this bunch? Because mine was very lukewarm. Like,
Man, you had the worst.
All three of mine. Like, because as I say, I'm not much of a Severin guy, like, at all. Vinegar Syndrome, 9 out of 10 times, I love it. Severin is like, okay, they took from this movie. They took from this movie. Like,
Mm-hmm.
now it's Kathy's Curse, Anthropophagus with the tail end of Jallo, Enigma, which is the entirety of fucking Phenomena.
I
But the
think you just
best,
watched the mediocre films from them, pretty much.
yeah, Anthropophagus, I think it was my favorite. It was the newest one.
Mm-hmm.
Great kills, great sound, great score, you know. Really bizarre kills. Like the pregnant woman holding up a guy's dead head and not realizing it, and then dying, like, immediately. I don't know.
Yeah, I really like that one. I'm based on atmosphere, and that one had a great atmosphere in it.
What's
A
your
lot of
favorite
films.
movie out of yours?
Out of mine, I'm gonna go with Siege.
Nice.
Wild Beasts, a close second.
Well, what's our
But
next theme
yep.
do you want to do?
What should we do?
I'm looking at my shelf and I have a lot of
I don't
Vinegar
know.
Syndrome and Arrow, but
I'm pretty stacked on those two, so I could go with that.
Vinegar Syndrome would be good because I have a lot of early releases by them.
So we do Vinegar Syndrome.
Yep, let's do Vinegar Syndrome. Fuck it.
Hell yeah.
Alright, y'all. Thank
Work.
you for watching and, well, I guess listening. There's not really anything to watch. But we're gonna do Vinegar Syndrome next. This was a lot of fun. I mean, we really knocked out our Watchpile. Found some really great films. At least you did. Not me. But,
I do. I like bad films though, so
yeah, you're more of an action exploitation guy. For me, I'm
go
like,
ahead, man.
let me see the great filmmaking.
Mhm.
Let me see, you know, the influences, how you
Yeah.
influence others, like all that.
So it's a different category there, but
And I'm gonna
we
try
come
not
together
to say,
pretty good there.
I'm not gonna try to say what I watch. I'm gonna just watch it and I'll tell you. Just watch us end up
There you
watching
go.
the same stuff. I may rewatch some
Oh
films.
man, it's gonna
been
be
a
a
while.
get even. Get even.
That probably might be the one I rewatch. I've been really wanting to rewatch that recently.
Yeah.
But yeah, thank you everyone for listening.